Hi guys, Johnny Wilson here. We're looking at some strength, gaining strength and building strength around the lumbopelvic region. In particular some groin strength. So we've got adduction movement and abduction movement. And we're going to put this into a very functional position. So a position where it will require some change of direction, it'll require triple flexion to extension, so running movements. So you might be post-op from a hernia operation or from a hip operation, or you might have an adductor strain or anything, a core injury. And what we're going to do is show you some progressions. So we're going to start on a short lever. And the short lever is what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend my knee. Now I'm using a towel here and a little bit of a slidey surface. For the short lever exercise, it's kind of better to have that slidey surface. There are other ways of doing this exercise, absolutely. There's loads of great ideas out there. We're just showing you how we would progress this. So I put the towel down on the slidey surface, and if I'm working this adductor, this is the knee that's going to go on here. This leg is going to be my squatting leg, so I'm going to be doing a single leg squat on this side. And what I want to make sure is that I do a good single leg squat. So then I'm going to push out and abduct. So when my leg goes away from the body, it abducts. And I can feel a really good stretch on my adductors here. I'm in a single leg squat position here, which is very similar to what you would be doing in running. And then I'm going to really push the towel in here and I'm going to drag that into me. Now both my adductors are working here. I'm stabilizing through this one and I'm concentrically adducting through this one. So I'm in a good position here. I'm maintaining an upright position and then push in as hard as I can. I'm out. It's a really good stretch for the adductors, for the groin muscles, and then I'm pushing back in. Be looking at 3 sets of 8 on that. If you wanted to, you could weight that exercise. So I could take a weight. If you have a bottle of water at home, you could use that. Into my single leg squat, out to feel my stretch. Make sure that my body is upright and not leaning forward like that. And then drive and drag it in. So really good exercise here. Now it's a little bit harder when you've got the weight on. Strength prescription would be maybe 3 sets of 6 or 3 sets of 8. And then the progression is to move on to a longer lever. And a longer lever is when I straighten the leg. So we've got a really, our advanced exercise is the adductor plank. So you can check that out on the link below. I've got a carpet on the floor. I don't have a slidey surface. But if I had a slidey surface, all I would need to do is put the towel on the ground and I could do the same exercise. Now, because I don't have a slidey surface, I've got to be innovative. Now, I have one of these, which is a free form, but not many people have these, so I'm not going to use it. I also have a skateboard, one of my passions. So I can use this to help facilitate this exercise. Now there are loads of stuff that you could use. So anything that's got wheels or slides along a carpet is fine. So I'm going to go into the same position. This time this leg is going to go on top of the skateboard. Skateboard is going to go out that way and I'm going to abduct my leg. I'm going to go into a single leg squat. So what I need to make sure is that I use a hip hinge first. I don't want to load up my knee. So I go into, I sit my bum backwards, and down I go. Now I've got a really good stretch on here. I'm working hard through here on a single leg squat, maintaining my body weight. I don't want to be in a waiter's bow because I'm going to change the force through the groin. So I want to really work against that and extend up. So I'm maintaining my horizon. Huge stretch on here. And what I'm going to do, rather than just kind of nicely pulling it in like that and bending my knee, I'm going to drag it in. I'm going to push the skateboard into the ground and drag in. Now the skateboard's quite high, so I'm only going to get from about here to here while I'm working. What I could do, and again, I've got to be pretty innovative, is build up the height where my foot is on here, so it's roughly the same height as the skateboard. Stand up onto that. And now I'm going to be able to adduct a little bit further in. So I go into my, again, out as far as I can and then drive in. drive in. Now I haven't got enough room to quite there, so I'll turn it this way, bring it across here. Again, always adapting and overcoming. So again, maintaining my horizon, out as far as I can, and then really drag it in. Out we go, and drag it in. Again, my progression would be to grab a weight, maybe a bottle of water, whatever you got. Maintaining good single leg stance in that squat, and then push up and drive it in. Now I've got to make sure that my leg stays to the side, because sometimes the skateboard comes across in front. If that happens, take your time, readjust it, get it right, keep your horizon, out you go, good single leg mechanics, and then drive in like that. Again, a good strength prescription here is 3 sets of 6 or 3 sets of 8. If you can carry out this exercise with no increase in stiffness, pain, or swelling, and a reaction an hour after a session or 24 hours after a session, you know, maybe it might be a good idea to progress on to the adductor plank, short lever adductor plank. And from there then you would progress on to the long lever adductor plank. So really good exercise for developing neuromuscular control from a kinetic chain from the body, because you've got to maintain spinal stiffness and an erect spine. You're in a single leg squat on this side, you're abducting here and adducting here, and you can go from short lever to long lever, so you've got progressions there. If 3 sets of 6 is too much, you might start off with 2 sets of 6, so you can build up the volume that you do there. And then you can also build up the amount of weight that you have. So if this is a bit too light, you can get something that's a little bit heavier. Can be done pretty early on in your rehab. So from about day 4, day 5, you can really kind of start with your short lever work, keep it relatively pain-free. Can then be progressed into mid-stage, so you're maybe doing a little bit more, it's getting a little bit heavier, you're going to longer lever, and then you can progress that onto your advanced exercises when you're returning to your sport or your activity or your hobby or your occupation, by moving on to the short and then long adductor lever planks. So hope you enjoyed the video, guys. If you like this and you've got any questions, if you've got a groin injury, then, you know, give myself and Paulina a shout, and hopefully we'll get back to you and maybe come to help you out with that. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, you know what to do. Hit the button below, just hit the button below, subscribe, and we will catch you on the next video.